Welcome back to Surviving Mars. My name is Tobal. So lots of things are going on right now. I've made a bunch of changes between last episode and now. And primarily, I've kind of redesigned and reallocated the populations for our domes. It's been a long time coming to start kind of specializing and getting people in the correct area. So the Baby Make Alpha Dome is actually filtered down now by excluding... I don't know if middle-aged actually has anything to do with it, but I have excluded middle-aged to be safe. And I will also exclude youth. I kind of forgot to do that. So youth, children, seniors, and middle-aged. I'm going to have them all out of this dome. Only adults are going to be in this dome. That means when a child is born, in theory, they will get shuttled over, or they'll walk across the main dome here over to the Kids Are Us dome. So now this dome is only available for children. I know I have a lot more children than this, and I don't know, maybe I'm missing an age group thing. No, there's no children here. Maybe I just don't have that many kids. Could have sworn. Oh, no, you know what? I have disabled the baby making. I've completely disabled births for a little bit. I'm going to re-enable it probably in new leads because I don't want to wind up having a population decline, which I can check if I'm so inclined by going to my handy-dandy graph. And you can see, in fact, we have had a bit of a decline. This is probably where I put, where I disabled breeding, yeah, where I disabled reproduction in all of the domes. I forbid any kind of baby making. So I will re-enable that in new leads, and then this dome should start sprouting with little ones here soon. So I've got a crap ton of playgrounds. Now I decided to go with apartments over the, over the nursery. Oh, you know what I did? I based the comfort level off the apartments in this dome, is what I did. And the problem is that, by default, the comfort is horrible. I could have sworn that the comfort was much, much higher. Well, that's my fault for not looking 2 steps ahead. So the comfort right now, and it's probably because we have so many farms inside of new leads, we're not going to really be able to do that in the Kids R Us dome. So what I'll do... Thankfully, we don't have that many kids yet, and we'll be able to recover some of the materials I spent. I'm going to fill these spots up with nurseries. Nurseries have 8 residential space, and they have great quality for kids. So lots of great quality for anyone living there. That should clean things up nicely. Let me put down 1 or 2 of the nurseries right now. Oh, look at that lovely, perfect spacing. Ooh, yeah. I'm digging it. All right, we'll put another set of those down here. I like the nurseries generally because it's 8 residential space for a kind of a 3-tile building, right? And if you picture something like the living quarters, or sorry, the living complex, that's 14 residential space for a full triangle, which is 9, right? So you're getting more space in the nurseries than you would otherwise. And the nurseries, another added benefit, only require concrete to build, which we have aplenty still. Okay, let me bring you up to speed on some other things. Let me put down this one last nursery. Perfect. So, the Kids R Us dome is going fine. I haven't really done much with the tourist dome, and I don't think I plan to. This is mostly just going to be a filler dome until I make some more decisions. Oh, I did want to go ahead and disable the art store, electronics store, and this other art store I built inside of new leads. I meant to do that a while ago. That should help alleviate some of the stress. Now, we have achieved a bit of an equilibrium between power, food, and our advanced electronics. You can see food is really, really low. However, I have went ahead and, what I meant to do here is I want to encourage my botanists to move here. Now, it's not going to straight up kick anyone out, but it would, hopefully this will encourage botanists to move into the farming dome. I have a ton of farms here. Most of them are getting built up. So we've got, right here, we're at 70%, 70, 70, 90. So I just switched over to the full rotation of what I would normally be doing. So we're using corn, fruit trees, and quinoa. I do want to do a couple with the seed crop as the middle crop, the one that grows your soil quality back up to normal. I'd like to use the seed crop for that.
Resources are low.
All right. What I've decided to do, and I've been going a little crazy with all of my dome expansions, so I decided to just calm it down a notch and focus on trying to get some specialist domes up and running. So we have down here in the south, I have the Last Days Oasis. This is a retirement community. Now, I don't have this specifically excluding anyone or including anyone. I will say, like, yes, I want to attract seniors here, but I wanted to leave it open so that we could still fill our services as needed. Now, I'm going to wait a bit. I'm going to come back to this and find out how grumpy people are. They weren't able to relax. Now, small spacebar. Small spacebar, to be honest, probably does not have all that much space. And I don't know. I feel like this is probably a good size for the moment to act as our interim retirement community. And I also have the medical center there to take care of any medical issues. So this is my temporary temporary retirement facility. I like to do this in a medium dome later because I can fit more of the apartments and more of the services and things like that. But my goal is to have more dedicated domes, a little smaller. Instead of going crazy with the big domes, I'm going to start focusing on the smaller things in life, right? We want to make sure we've got all of our basics met. The metal dome is going along well. I have just enough people to get the full metal extractor here, and I'm starting to get people moving into this dome and filling up the other metal extractor. So that's still going slowly but surely. Beyond that, I think we're in a relatively good place, and I'm trying to avoid making any big jumps. And one big jump would include the new Boston Dome. I don't really want to go crazy yet until I have the infrastructure set down in order to support my upcoming expansion. I also put down another carbonate processor because I had a ton of extra power, so that was great. I actually have all 3 of my fusion reactors running fine. Very precariously balanced. Like this, it wound up being really well. Working out really well, but it does make me feel a little bit like everything's on the knife edge. But we're doing just okay. We've got our power situation handled. We've got our advanced electronics, our advanced elements. I should look at this. We're at pretty much double. We're making double of whatever is needed, it looks like. So in theory, we're building up slowly but surely. We're building our stockpile back up, which is what I was hoping for. I've disabled a lot of our vaporators because they were just needlessly using up a lot of our resources as well. So what is next for our crazy colony? We are kind of rocking out with the atmosphere thing. One item that I have researched, I finally got my high-powered jets, so we are up with an additional cargo capacity on all of our shuttles, which should really make a huge difference in terms of moving items from point A to point B. So this is going to help us a ton. I have a bunch of spare drones hanging out at my mega, what would you call this? The drone hub on either end. I think I actually probably want to split these so that the back dome has enough to deal with any of its issues too. My lovely people at the drone assembler have been going crazy and pumping out a ton of items. You know what? I don't really know if I want engineers working here. I'd like to actually have it mixed up. I'm not too worried about the specialist being there. So beyond this, looking forward, we're pretty much out of money. We don't have anything to export back home. Now, this spot here was going to be one of our lovely deep... Was this a deep spot? Yeah, deep rare metals. But in the meantime, before I get this dome up and running, alternatively, I could just go very small. That might be the better option. Instead of setting up a brand new dome, I take New Boston. We'd have to do more power. We'd be short by 50 if we open New Boston up. However, let's see, where are we at in terms of some items here? I wanted to research the microfusion, right? Microfusion has this artificial sun wonder, which I believe, I looked it up on the wiki, it's 1,000 power output. It's a lot of power. And that would help us reduce all of this labor that is currently being used up in new leads. That's 24 each, right? So that's a ton of people that I could be having working somewhere else. So I wouldn't mind doing that, but the problem is it's going to be a ways away. So in the meantime, I could put down just a couple more Stirling generators. And since we are doing pretty good on polymer, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to set us back a tiny bit on polymer. And by a tiny bit, I mean it's actually going to set us back a good chunk. But I think this is going to be worth it. Oh, you're not even turned on. Then that's going to fix a lot of that. That's going to be 2040. This might put us over requirements right there. These two additions, only 10 polymer, 10 each, 20 polymer, 10 electronics, and we'll be up and running with those two Stirling gens. All of my water is currently up and running. Oh, shoot. I need to put down some sort of dumping site so I can take all this waste rock taken care of. So, the water outside of the New Boston Dome is basically set. All of our deep water extraction, I got that technology. We are extracting water like crazy. We are sitting on 95,000 units of water, so I'm hoping that this will last me at least for a long time. I'm praying to the gods of surviving Mars that this lets me get the water I need. What else could I start trimming up here? We have open spaces available in the Curie Trigon. Everyone's doing relatively well. I could upgrade these to apartments in order to replace the archaeology with, say, the science. I'm kind of growing more fond of the science spire. Sorry, the medical center spire. Now, there is a spire down here that, yeah, network node. It increases the research output of all research labs and Hawking institutes in the dome. Obviously, that would be the tip of the iceberg for us, but I don't know if we're ready for that yet, because it's a lot of research and then a lot of materials that we'd have to put down. Well, you know what? To be fair, 40, 40, 23, that's not bad at all. I thought this was a wonder. It's really not. I might queue that up, since it's going to do... we're kind of at the end of the research tree, so this would really help us get over that last little hurdle. Let's take a look at how are you guys doing. I do have a lot of problems up here in terms of power, though, which kind of stinks. You know what I should do? Is go ahead and add in, say, an atomic accumulator here, so that they have their own dedicated battery, which I really haven't done before. You guys are using 30, or does this say this is needing 30 power? I think it's needing 92 power from this dome alone. Now, the atomic accumulators can, what can the output give? I'm not entirely sure what the atomic accumulators give you in terms of output. Like, when a battery is outputting, it only has a maximum rate that it can output. So maximum output is 20, so it can discharge 20 at a time. Like right now, we're short a little bit because all of these combined is not putting out enough power to give us everything we need. So if I give a battery up here in the upper corner for the Curie Trigon, I want to make sure that we're able to discharge the amount of power that it would need during an outage. Right. We'll take care of that later on, no big deal. Let's also go ahead and stagger the work shift. I've been forgetting to do this. We need to stagger a lot of our farms, because this will take kind of what would I say here? It's going to ease the burden of our service industry, and that's a tip that I think I've completely missed my entire playthrough. So I had not been doing that at all, and this is going to help us out a ton, because if everyone works shift A, shift 1, and then they all try to get their services on shift 2, well then obviously shift 2 is going to be slammed for people. So I need to kind of look for those opportunities here and there, especially in, say, a large dome like New Leeds, and see where I can kind of do that adjustment on shift. So I could say you guys are working shift 2. Now, of course, with the factories, obviously that's a different story. There's tons and tons of people working at all hours. I have overcharged these, by the way. This is something I haven't tested before. Now, heavy workload, no está bueno. That's pretty rough. You guys are actually having a really rough time with this. Now, one of you are okay, though. Hang on. Who's grumpy, who's not? Visited the medical center in a different dome, and you got plus 14. Do we not have... We should have medical centers here. We do, in fact, have medical centers here. Are you guys busy? You're pretty much full. I think I need to go ahead and maximize my doctors to make sure we get these things taken care of. We don't have the technology yet, and I should maybe throw this in here. The rejuvenation treatment is an improvement for the infirmary and the medical center that provides relaxation, allowing colonists to visit and gain comfort. Now, does this do anything for your morale or your sanity? That's what's going low, right? Their sanity is what's going down. It's interesting that, so they didn't get grumpy about the heavy workload on Sol 192 or 191. Why was the other person grumpy? Is there just a chance for someone to get grumpy about it? I mean, it seems okay. It's not great, though. Couldn't visit a medical facility. Visited a medical facility in a different dome. So not everyone's upset about working the heavy workload. Interesting. What causes that? Working in a heavy workload will increase the building performance, but inflicts sanity and health penalties on the worker. Well, health we shouldn't have a problem with. What are you doing over here? Are you getting food here? That's obviously telling me that I have a problem with my grocery layout in this dome. So let me go ahead and do this. Let's kill some of the playgrounds, since we shouldn't have any kids in New Leeds at all. Right? Yeah, no kids are living here. I love that no seniors are here either. All those spaces that the seniors were taking up have now been cleared out by having them go to the last days oasis down south. So that's helping them to ease into their new life. So I think what we'll do, we'll keep we got a security station, just a couple renegades, surprisingly only 2 renegades, which is its own miracle. Let's put down another bunch of grocers and diners, I think. We have a couple space bars, right? We have a couple space bars spread around. My gyms are spread around. The space bars seem like they're pretty full. I could throw a few things down here in the corner. Honestly, anywhere where we have the passage would be a good idea. Let's save up for a bit on concrete. I have a plan for my concrete and metal. I'd like to put those towards this new project. This is going to be a lot of material. The problem, of course, will be polymer, but I can import polymer, hopefully, if we're able to bring that from Earth. The problem, of course, being we need to provide something to Earth in order to make some money. So perhaps, oh hey, randomly have these metals here forever. We need to have something for them to trade. And on that note, I think what I was thinking about, weren't we just talking about this here? We're talking about this one deep rare metal deposit. And maybe slowly, oh, that's right. That's where I went off on my tangent, was adding a couple of these Stirling generators, oops, wrong button, in order to make the power so that we can actually turn on the New Boston Dome. Lovely. Okay, that's what I was going with. So now, New Boston is active, ready to go. Oh wait, it actually needs 5 polymer because it's been down for so long. That's fine. Is it actually actively taking 50? I think so, that's a good sign. What we'll do is we're going to make things a little bit different in New Boston. I think I'd like to lay this out a little bit differently. I like the apartments. Because I think we can counteract the negative items, the negative penalty with the apartment through a farm. So the farm can help us out immensely. So we're going to throw 3 apartments down here. That's a lot of space for people to live in. We will go ahead and put down our rare metals extractor. Just one. I don't want to sap through this super quick. But that will take care of that. Let's go ahead and be proactive and put down a couple of farms. And again, this is not really set for priority for farming, but this is more for just keeping people happy. This is to raise the comfort level in the dome by having some farms in here. I believe it also reduces the oxygen requirements. Now for the spire,
resources are low.
I think I'd like to try something different. Instead of the arcology, why don't we put in a medical center? What else do we have? We have the sanatorium. Behavioral shaping. Water reclamation. I don't think water reclamation is all that useful unless you're specifically using this in a dome that's doing farming. So let's throw down the medical center facility, and then I'll throw down a couple of the basic services, and I'm going to leave this alone. We're not going to fully flesh out this dome yet. I want to have it nice and kind of balanced. Ooh, look at that lovely symmetry. And I'll put down, honestly don't even need 2 gyms, but since they don't really use any people, I'm okay with putting those down right now. We'll have a dedicated diner here. And what else am I going to throw in here? We're going to have the infirmary. I guess I'm going to have 2 diners, to be honest. We'll probably need 2 grocers. You know, at a certain point, it's just food. It doesn't matter because they're getting food. They're getting all their needs met. So that should take care of that. At a quick glance, I'm not going to go with the art store or electronics store just yet. I do eventually want to put a copy of my machine parts and electronics here, but we're waiting until we have a better population, and more importantly, we have the food infrastructure to support that. And I'd really like to wait until everything's at 100% of the farms, and we're in our normal cycles. So we're only at 80%, 70% for some of these new farms. Now, over on this side of the world, I'd like to go ahead and start planning, I think. Now, that's going to be 1 rare metals deposit here. Oh, by the way, I will need to run a wee bit of a power line over to you. Cool. So that's going to be ready to go down the road whenever they decide to move there. How's our children dome doing? 24 kids. I think I can open up a little bit more of the baby making. We'll open up baby making a little bit more. Honestly, if I do the Curie Trigone, it's probably going to explode, but that's okay. Look how happy everyone is. That's exciting. Shopping, social, exercise. That's not bad. Social could use some improvement. Social is just the space bar, right? Yeah. Now, everyone is on different shifts here, so Oh, we don't have a third. Well, it doesn't matter. If they're working one shift, they still have 2 shifts to do all their shopping and 1 shift to sleep. So eventually people will get everything evened out. Do I need to have a midnight shift at the spacebar? I can. I don't think it hurts anything. Let's go ahead and add in. We have space for this first off. We do have space here. So as we get more people here, they should be able to fill up the next job. We have social, relaxation, drinking. You've got diners, grocer. Oh, I need a park. I don't have any parks anymore. I wound up trashing a lot of my parks because I just ran out of space or this excuse or that excuse. These really add a lot to your dome, and I keep forgetting how useful these are. Relaxation, exercise, and playing, all wonderful options for your park, or for your dome rather. So let's put down a garden and a small fountain there. And really, I should do this over in the kids' dome too, because they also love to play. So this will be a great addition for that as well. So we'll throw down a pond, Amelia Pond, and actually we'll do a garden, and then we'll throw some small fountains on either side here, and there and there. Okay, cool. So this is going to be lots of good stuff for the kids. How are we doing here again? Everyone's relatively happy, right? Yeah, everyone's pretty happy. What about the morale? What do we have? Low morale. No, I think morale just takes time to build up for like over time, right? I think that's how that morale is supposed to work. We've got some sanity issues here. A lot of the sanity issues, I believe, are related to all the crazy power outages I've had over the year, or the souls. So we've had a lot of power issues, but I think if I can keep things stable, and I can pay attention to, our needs and move very slowly and expand at a very slow rate, I'll be in better shape. Oh, hey, are we losing atmosphere yet? No, still no atmosphere. That's really surprising. I thought at some point we're going to lose some of that atmosphere. 0% per soul. Maybe it happens when we get higher up. Still wondering about that part. So the next big move for me, I think, which will be pretty big in terms of an investment in resources, is going to be a medium dome here, and then another medium dome here. And the reason I'd like to do that is because that way I can put one drone hub down and control a bunch of these different domes. I'd actually like to have another dome right smack dab in the middle of all of these science areas. So that could be scientists and underground metals. We'll have one dome that's just doing nothing but rare metals extraction, and then another dome that's going to be our second farming dome. Because I'm looking forward to the future where I'm going to have a couple other mega domes out there. But in order to be ready for that, I want to make sure I've got the resources in play. So that's my plan moving forward. I appreciate you letting me ramble on about that. Let's move this fancy pants dozer over here so it can be useful to me, or for us. Right, wonderful. Let me speed things up a bit. What I will do is let the game roll for a while. I really need to put down a farm that is nothing but freaking seed crops. Incoming. Oh, crap. That's not what I wanted to hear. In fact, you know what? Let's do that. Seed crops give us better soil, and we're not super mega desperate for this yet. One other thing I meant to say was that I want to have one more dome that's a university dome, an education dome for adults. We're going to put down a dome that's nothing but the specialist or whatever is required is only people who have no specialization. And so that's the only thing allowed. Everything else can get kicked out. So as soon as someone graduates, boom, they move to another dome. So I do want to have a dome dedicated to education at some point as well. And I think I'd like to tuck it in somewhere in the same general vicinity. Although I think everything at this point is relatively tight, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have that option or not. I could put it right here at this intersection as a very, very small dome that could fit right in that little gap. Blocking objects. I think there's like there's a lot of, obviously, life support lines here, but I'm not sure where I want to put that, but what we're trying to do is at least have enough spots for 18 people, maybe 2 of these, maybe 2 Martian universities, so we're really pumping a lot of people out. What I think is happening is that we're losing people from death faster than we're educating them at the universities. So I'm constantly having, look at this, we haven't had a geologist in ages. Like, we've got barely any geologists lying around in terms of all these different buildings that might need it. I've got tons of metal extractors. Let's see, let's actually take a look. Yeah, all non-specialists here. Very few people working at this metals extractor, so I think that would be a great idea. I might be able to where can we put that at?
Meteor incoming.
We're going to have rare metals is how many people? It's 4 per shift. And I really don't want to have a third shift on the rare metals outside. So I bet that's 8, that's 16. We could do it in this dome here. I think. Well, we'd have to leave geologists here, which wouldn't be a big deal. Or do we want to have a completely separate dome, or do we want to include it and make some space for it? Medium dome might not even be needed here. I could put an apartment down. I'll tell you what, I'll put the living quarters down because it's better quality, makes people a little bit happier. So that might be a little bit easier for us. Oh, you're going to smack our carbonate processor and knock that out of commission, which is rough. Thankfully, we have a lot of machine parts lying around. So, I don't know. Do we want to go ahead and put this down now? Do I want to wait till things stabilize? I'd like to get the farming up sooner than later. Oh, it makes me so sad. Oof. Right on the processor. That's rough. How close are we in terms of our overall objectives here? I've not paid attention to this for some time. We have toxic rains are going to start soon. 25% atmosphere. Now, you know what? Grass and bushes. There is technology somewhere. Here it is right here. Unlocks planting of bushes and trees and forestation plants. These are harvested. Oh! Bushes and trees are harvested for seeds by drones. Oh my god, it's a self-fulfilling system. Oh, please, I need this right now. I'm going to throw this in here really quick. I've been having a terrible problem with seeds. So having an open farm that's doing nothing but seed production would pretty much skyrocket our seed production. And because my forestation plants don't require power, we could really smash where the vegetation is going. That's awesome. Okay, let's get that going. And then I even forgot what I had queued up. I think I had the Martian Network queued up. There's actually some really great wonders here. The project Mohole, this is the Mohole mine, extracts metals, rare metals, and waste rock without the need of a deposit, which is crazy. Excavator produces concrete directly from the Martian soil. These wonders are absolutely fantastic. Morpheus stimulates new perks. I believe one of these is a space elevator, which constantly sends things back to Earth. Very, very cool. Seed vegetation, cloud seeding. Ooh. Cloud seeding would be kind of cool. That's awesome. What a great... It helps so much if you actually read what's in your research menu. I would highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. So, yeah, we're going to do that. I think I might include that dome for education somewhere in this area. Because it would kind of make sense, right? We've got... This is not really in terms of game mechanics, but, you know, from a roleplay perspective, this plateau is kind of our plateau of knowledge, if you would. So I could throw down another medium dome here. We already have all the infrastructure we need. We've got our universal depot. You know what we need more of here? Just a few more drones. I've not been giving too much love to this area much. Oh, hey, you don't have any power. Shoot. Let's fix that right there. How much can you discharge? 100 energy per soul. That's actually really, really good. So that means that if this dome goes down for power, if we lose our power connection through the tunnel or for whatever reason, this should discharge and power this dome for a little bit longer. And that's something I'll focus on in my next playthrough, is having a little bit more localized backups. And do they cost anything? They do cost maintenance. So maybe I won't do it as much as I might have done, thought about it, but it's still not a bad idea. It's going to be giving you all of the backup that you might want. Excellent. We're at soybeans. We're at 90% here. 90% here is... Oh, this is the one I've already changed over. This is about to flip to 80. I'm so excited about this farming dome, especially at the fact that we're barely using... Let's see. How much water are we using? 6.8 water. And again, this is a farming dome with 6 different farms in it. We're only using about 7 water, which is the same as the Curie Trigon. So that's outstanding. That water reclamator is amazing. Oh god, that's it. I thought that was a rock or a comet, an asteroid coming in. Great. So meteor. Sorry, that is not going to strike us here. The storm is kind of rough. It might actually roll right across the rest of our area. I'll just have to wait and pray that none of my drones get taken out. Otherwise, though, besides a little bit of loss of power today, I think I'd like to maybe upgrade to more atomic accumulators. And I also need to get used to the idea that it's okay to be in the negative sometimes. It's okay to use your batteries. Otherwise, you're just wasting your batteries. Your batteries aren't being really used other than that in that emergency backup situation. So I don't need to quite explode every time I see that hit the red. Alrighty, sorry about that. I've been kind of yapping away here. I am super excited though about where we are. I think this is a little bit more stable than it has been. And I believe we're going to be moving along pretty quickly here with more extractors. The next thing I do want to do, I want to move with now is going to be these two domes, I think. I want to go ahead and start putting more rare metals back into currency or back over to Earth. Did we lose power somewhere? Oh, we did. We lost some of our generators. Okay. I think I'm going to have to make some changes here. We're losing people at the fusion reactor. Are they moving around? I have been adjusting people, so that's probably going to be part of it. We should be getting these people back in the form of children coming to work once they're youth. So hopefully that power situation might get resolved. But I think what I'm going to have to do in the meantime is take off the electronics priority for a bit and upgrade the fusion reactor so we're back up on power. We're okay-ish on food. I think what I'd like to do is start trading. We have a lot of metal. I could do a trade for metal for polymer. That wouldn't be bad, since we surprisingly have metal lying around. I'm not sure. I think our gatherer is out going crazy along with our people who are working the metals extractor here as well. Right. So I'm going to send a cargo ship from Earth. We haven't done that in quite a bit of time, in quite a while. So I'm going to bring 2 drone hubs because I hate spending the money for the or not the money, the electronics. I don't like to pay the electronics cost for those drone hubs. So bringing the fab unit here, the prefab rather, we'll put that down right in the middle. I will probably connect this right into our existing network, and then we're going to lose our mines with power once again. But I think what I'll do this time around is see how close we are. Still halfway to microfusion. I'm really torn. I don't know if I want to wait that long for microfusion or not. It is 20,000, so we need 10,000 more research. That's 5 souls. A lot can happen in 5 souls. I am Pumat soul. Oh, that's our other part of the reason that we're not having any production. We're out of machine parts in our polymer factory, so that needs to get cleaned up. We're dodging so many bullets here. It's amazing. All right, folks, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up today. I hope that was okay with you. I've been talking nonstop, but I appreciate your patience, and I hope this makes more sense as to what I've been doing with my domes. I'm going to let this run for just a little bit of time. Even if we unlock this microfusion plant, it's still going to require 300 polymer, which we don't have right now. We're going to have to wait a long time for that polymer, and we'd have to wait to fill it up with our water as well. Oof, we are running straight out of polymer completely. Where is my polymer factory? You are already maxed out, and you guys are running a pretty hardcore overnight shift. Damn. Heavy workload plus working outside the dome is not helping. I'm going to have to reduce the workload here, which is kind of rough. It brings us down below the maintenance point. Maybe I will have to start fleshing out New Boston a little bit more, but I'm a little more comfortable now that our food production is really kind of jumped up. I'll see how the balance works. I do believe we're going to get crunched for money, so I'm going to try to focus on getting these 2 domes up next episode and start getting some exports sent back to Earth. Thanks so much for joining me for this episode of Surviving Mars. I'll catch you next one. Take care.